the shadow families who secretly own the world. You think you make your own choices, right? The car you buy, the news you read, the shows you binge, you figure it's all just a reflection of your personal taste. But what if I told you that your reality has been carefully shaped, that a handful of families, operating in the background for generations, have helped build the very world you live in? This isn't about speculation. This is about following the money, connecting the names, and revealing the dynasties that have an outsized influence on your world. Thesis. When we think of global power, we picture presidents, prime ministers, and tech billionaires. But behind these public figures, there's another layer of influence, a network of dynastic families whose wealth isn't just measured in dollars, but in centuries of control. Their empires are more than just companies. They're complex systems of finance, industry, and politics that quietly shape our lives. They don't just own things, they own the systems that create wealth. To understand how the world really ticks, we have to look past the headlines and into the shadows, where a few names pop up again and again. These are the influential families we're talking about today. Our investigation has to start with the family that arguably created the playbook for global financial influence, the Rothschilds. Their story isn't just about getting rich, it's about strategic genius that completely changed how the world of finance works. It all started in the 18th century Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt, where Mayor Amschel Rothschild built a banking business with a revolutionary idea. Instead of keeping it local, he sent his 5 sons to the 5 most important financial hubs in Europe: London, Paris, Frankfurt, Vienna, and Naples. This wasn't just a family business. It was the world's first truly global financial network. The 5 houses worked together, pioneering things like cross-border finance, lending money to governments, and funding huge projects like the Suez Canal in Europe's Industrial Revolution. During the Napoleonic Wars, their network was so advanced that they could move information and money faster than nations, giving them an unparalleled edge in the world of state finance. While their immense power has made them a favorite subject of conspiracy theories, most of which are wildly exaggerated, the truth is that the Rothschilds created a model of private influence over public affairs that has been copied for generations. Their wealth is now spread across many descendants, but the family strategy was brilliant. Keep control in the family, be discreet, and operate beyond the borders of any single country. Today, their operations are more focused on advisory services, but the Rothschild name is still synonymous with power, and their methods laid the groundwork for how dynastic wealth translates into lasting global influence. If the Rothschilds wrote the book on finance, the Rockefellers perfected the art of dominating an industry and turning that power into social control. The name is forever linked to John D. Rockefeller, the man who cornered the American oil market with Standard Oil. By the end of the 19th century, he controlled 90% of the oil in the U.S., giving him immense power over the resource that was quickly becoming the engine of the modern world. This was more than just business. It was the strategic takeover of an entire industry, from the well to the consumer. But the real masterstroke of the Rockefeller dynasty was what they did next. Facing huge public anger and antitrust laws that eventually broke up Standard Oil in 1911, the family pivoted. They funneled their unimaginable wealth into a new kind of influence: philanthropy. The Rockefeller Foundation, started in 1913, was a brilliant move. Under the banner of public good, the family began to shape education, medicine, and public policy around the world. They funded universities, medical breakthroughs, and global health programs, embedding their influence into the very fabric of society. This philanthrocapitalism gave them a more subtle, but arguably more powerful reach than their oil monopoly ever did. The family's fortune also gave them a major foothold in banking, with deep ties to what became Chase Manhattan Bank. Today, through groups like the Rockefeller Foundation, they continue to influence global policy on everything from climate change to public health, proving that the greatest power isn't just owning the oil, but shaping the institutions that govern the world. While older dynasties built their empires on banking and oil, our next case file shows how modern dominance comes from controlling something everyone does: shop. Meet the Walton family, the force behind Walmart. With a fortune estimated to be in the $250 to $300 billion range, they are the wealthiest family in America. It all started with a single five and dime store in Bentonville, Arkansas, founded by Sam Walton in 1962. From that humble start, the family built a global empire of over 10,500 stores in 19 countries. Their influence isn't just on a spreadsheet, it's part of your daily life. Walmart's everyday low prices model didn't just change retail, it rewired the entire global economy. To get those prices, the Waltons pioneered revolutionary supply chain tactics, creating a hyper-efficient machine that dictates terms to its suppliers all over the world. This gives them enormous leverage over global manufacturing, labor markets, and what you pay for goods. The sheer size of Walmart means their decisions what to stock, where to buy it, and what to pay their employees directly impact economies from China to Ohio. And while the family projects an image of small-town values, their wealth gives them serious political power, allowing them to fund campaigns and lobby for policies that benefit their bottom line. The Waltons prove that in the 21st century, you don't need a financial empire to have massive influence. You just need to control the checkout aisle. Now let's shift our focus from the West to the Middle East, where dynastic power isn't hiding behind a corporation. It is the state. The House of Saud, the ruling family of Saudi Arabia, controls a fortune that some have estimated to be as high as $1.4 trillion, though the exact figure is impossible to pin down. This makes them arguably the wealthiest family on the planet. Their wealth flows from one place: oil. By controlling Saudi Aramco, the world's most valuable oil company, they effectively hold the keys to the global energy supply. Nearly every swing in gas prices, every major geopolitical event in the energy world has a connection back to decisions made by this one family. Similarly, the Al Nahyan family of Abu Dhabi has turned its vast oil wealth, controlling about 6% of the world's reserves, into a global investment empire. The family's sovereign wealth funds manage assets estimated to be worth between $700 and $900 billion. Led by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the UAE, the family has moved far beyond oil. They are now major investors in global tech, with stakes in companies like Elon Musk's SpaceX. And they hold huge cultural assets like the Manchester City Football Club. These families represent a new form of dynastic power, where the line between the family's bank account and the national treasury is almost invisible. Their investments aren't just for profit. They are strategic moves on a global chessboard, buying influence in technology, media, and culture to ensure their power lasts long after the age of oil. CTA. These families don't just collect money. They use it to build systems that protect and grow their influence. They get that real power isn't just having a massive bank account, but controlling the institutions that shape our society. If you're finding this investigation eye-opening and want to see more about the tools these families use, from media control to political lobbying, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Now, these powerful families aren't just operating in their own little bubbles. They are all connected in a vast network of influence. Their members often sit on the boards of the same corporations, go to the same elite universities, and join the same exclusive clubs where global policy is shaped far away from the public eye. Ever wonder what really goes on at gatherings like the Bilderberg meetings? It's an annual invite-only conference for 120 to 150 of the most powerful people in business, politics, and academia from North America and Europe. The official line is that it's just for fostering dialogue, but the guest list is a who's who of the global elite, and everything is discussed in strict secrecy. Critics say these meetings are where the powerful forge a consensus on how to manage global affairs, all happening outside of any democratic process. Then you have the Trilateral Commission, founded by David Rockefeller in 1973 to build cooperation between North America, Western Europe, and Japan, and now includes powerful members from places like China and India. Just like Bilderberg, it's an invitation-only club where top-level figures from business and politics get together to talk about global issues. These groups are often brushed off as simple talking shops, but they provide a private space where a CEO, a central banker, and a future prime minister can align their interests. It's in these forums, away from any public accountability, that a shared ideology is often reinforced, one that typically favors globalization and market policies that benefit those already at the top. So why does any of this matter to you? Because the decisions made in these family boardrooms and closed-door meetings directly affect your life. The concentration of media ownership in the hands of a few powerful players means the news you see is often shaped by a handful of worldviews. When a family like the Waltons puts the squeeze on its suppliers to cut costs, that can lead to lower wages and lost jobs in manufacturing towns. When influential figures spend hundreds of millions on political lobbying, they shape environmental regulations and tax laws that affect the health of our planet and the money in your pocket. And when the House of Saud decides to cut oil production, the price you pay for gas goes up, hitting your wallet almost overnight. This system of dynastic power creates a feedback loop. Wealth buys political influence, which is then used to pass laws that generate even more wealth. It's a big reason why so many people feel like the system is rigged, that no matter who they vote for, the big picture never really changes. It's a world where democracy is real, but its boundaries are often quietly set by a handful of unelected, unaccountable dynasties. In conclusion, from the banks of the Rothschilds to the oil fields of the Al Sauds and the superstores of the Waltons, we've seen how a few families have gathered not just incredible wealth, but dynasties of influence. They built empires in finance, industry, and energy, and then skillfully converted that economic muscle into political and cultural power. They operate through a web of foundations, exclusive forums, and political connections, creating a kind of shadow governance that works to keep their power intact. The world you live in, the prices you pay, the news you consume, even the choices you have, is shaped by their legacy. The question isn't whether these families are powerful. That's obvious. The real question we're left with is this. In a world where so much influence is concentrated in so few hands, how much of your life is truly your own? Think about that. And before you go, let me know in the comments which of these families you think is the most influential, or if there are any others we should look into next. Do your own research, question everything, and we'll see you in the next investigation.